Hello, hello, hello. Sir David the Bard here. I'm multitasking. Can't see crap. Anyway, I'm here at Kangaroo City, and I'm flown back from Salt Lake, and I'm doing a video here. I may have my co-host sit by me here. I don't know if she wants to sit or not. There she is. Sit down. You can sit here. Okay, don't. Be yourself. I don't care. So anyway, I wanted to give you a little bit of advice on moving. Now, I'm pretty good at moving because when you're wanted by your creditors, you keep moving. I once forwarded my address to General Delivery, Boston, Massachusetts, and all the creditor letters weren't there. So, you know, those were the old days. Those were the old days. Anyway, I wanted to give you some advice on moving. Now, I've moved several times, and there's techniques to being able to move large objects on the top of your car. Now, when Mercy first came from the Philippines here to the United States, I had sold everything. I had sold my furniture, my clothes, my food. I didn't have a place to live. You know, it cost me right at $40,000 to immigrate her and the kids. And so she flew in, and we rented a small place. And we had no furniture. We had no TV. We had no dishes. And no sheets, towels, pillowcases. We just had an empty apartment. So we had a friend that said, well, I have a storage area. You can go over and get whatever you want. And hey, this is shopping. This is better than DI because I don't have to spend anything. So we went over and started rummaging through, and we found a nice couch. A very nice couch. It was a 6-foot couch. And I had a little Ford Escort. And Mercy said to me, how are we going to get this home? You can't put a hitch on this car, and can't get a U-Haul trailer. I said, we'll put the damn thing on the top. She says, you're kidding. I said, no, I've seen this in the Philippines. When I was in your country, I saw couches on the top of vehicles, not just to move, but to transport people. They were sitting on the couches. I know, but that was the Philippines. And well, you know, we got to improvise here. So we loaded the car up with the couch, and we tied it down and rolled the windows up on the ropes that held it on. And then Mercy was so humiliated that, I mean, she hadn't even been in the country a month. she laid down on the front floor. I don't want anyone to see a Filipino in here. Hey, you know, I got to do what I got to do to support my family. So we moved the couch safely over to our place, and she has never forgiven me making her ride in that vehicle. Now, there was another time in Massachusetts, I had a Datsun B210. It was a very small economy car. Well, we moved, and I had to move a refrigerator. Now, you're not going to believe me, but the bar don't lie. The bar don't lie. We had a porch, and I moved the refrigerator standing up out on the porch. Well, then I put a rack, a homemade rack, on the top of my new Datsun B210, and it used like ski holders. They just clipped on, and you rolled the window up. And it was just a piece of board. It was like a piece of plywood, but it covered the whole top of the car. So I had to get a dolly, and I rolled the refrigerator off of the porch in Massachusetts and onto the roof of the car. Now, at the very beginning, I wondered if this was a good idea, but I had no choice. I had no truck. I had no friends. I had no way to move it. And I'd used skateboards before, and they're a bitch downhill in Massachusetts in the winter. So anyway, it's standing up there. Now, the wife at the time, she looked at me. She says, do you think that's safe? Well, you know, when you're a man and you've invented something, it's always cool and it's always safe. Well, I tied it down. Now this was not a little refrigerator, it's a regular refrigerator in a kitchen, I don't know, 15, 20 cubic feet, white. And so I tied it down, and she said, I think it's going to tip over and tip the car over. I go, well, I hope not. So I drove clear across town. Great Barrington, Massachusetts, that's where we live. People just waving at the Bard. I go, hey, it's the Bard Moving Company. This is safe. This is safe. Well, I'm glad I didn't see the police, because I don't think the police would have thought that was safe. But, you know, it was one of those things that I had to do. And so I moved that across town safely. I don't remember how I got it off the roof of the car, because you had to, you know, it had to be on a porch where the roof of the car was even. Anyway, that same car and the same wife, I got wanting to go to Duke, let's see, Durham, North Carolina. Is that Duke? I think it was. I think it was Duke University. And I knew J.B. Rhine, the father of parapsychology, and he was kind of mentoring me, and I was trying to get into the university there. And so I packed up all of our stuff, and I moved it down to Durham, North Carolina, and put it in somebody's house, some Mormon. See, when you're a Mormon, you don't have to buy anything. Other people just give you their stuff. So we stored for free down in the house, and I got home that night, went back, I don't know if it took 2 days, 3 days, and my wife said to me, I don't want to move down there. I said, God, why did you tell me that before I loaded the car up? So I drove all the way, and that next day, all the way back to Durham, North Carolina, and picked up all of the stuff and moved it back to Great Barrington, Massachusetts. So I've had a little bit of moving experience, and it hasn't all been pleasant for me or my family. Now, we took a vacation. This is like moving. When you got 5 kids and you go on vacation, it's like moving. I mean, when you take enough clothes for 5 kids and 2 adults, you know, you've got a lot of stuff. So we had this, it was I think it was a Datsun 2. It wasn't the same Datsun, but no, it was a Chevy. It was a Chevy, the little one. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, it was a hatchback. And so we decided to go from California to Oklahoma to visit my in-laws, and they weren't impressed because we put 5 kids in the back of this car that could only seat like 2. And so we put the hatch up in the back, because if you had it down, it really squished the kids. When you put the kids back there, their face is like this on the window. And hey, that doesn't look cool. That looks abusive. So I just opened the hatch up and put 3 kids in the back there. Well, you know, they hung their feet out the back on the bumper, and they threw stuff out on the street, and they embarrassed the hell out of me. Of course, I wasn't embarrassed. I thought this was a good way to move a family. And we drove 2 or 3 days to Oklahoma and 2 or 3 days back with that back hatch open. Now, in those days, the seatbelt thing was not important, you know, to anybody. So they didn't have to have seatbelts back there, or they didn't have to have shoulder harnesses or the car seats. So anyway, back in those days, we could move kids pretty easily in a small car. But you had to keep the back hatch open. They were little kids if you squeezed them, and that's abusive. That's abusive. Anyway, if you're going to move refrigerators, you're going to move clothing, the entire house in the car, and if you're going to move large objects like a couch, you're going to have to use some Bard intelligence to get that to move. Now here's one thing that I recommend. Okay, now I've moved mattresses on the hood. Now I'm moving to another subject. I had a wife. Her name started with J, and one day we were in a fight, and I said, I got to get out of here. You know, I don't want domestic violence. In other words, I didn't want to get beat up. So, no, I wanted to calm down. So I jumped in the car and started backing out of the driveway. Well, this girl is from Oklahoma, J, Oklahoma, and she had kind of Oklahoma mentality. So she says, "You can't go anywhere. You have to listen to me." Well, that isn't true. It's just like the Mormon Church. It's not true. So I said, "No, I don't." And I started backing out of the driveway. We're in a nice middle-class neighborhood. The neighbor's out waving and whatever. Well, Boo Boo jumps on the hood of my car while I'm backing up in the driveway where the entire community saw her. In those days, she was cute. She only weighed 125 or 30 pounds, and she was the head cheerleader at her high school. And after I married her, I understood why she called herself the head cheerleader. But anyway, I start backing out, and she's sliding off the hood. I don't care. She doesn't belong up there anyway. So she grabs the windshield wipers to hold on to. And I'm saying to myself, "Self, there's like a big bug on there." So I turned on the washer and the windshield wiper. It wiped her off the hood. And I just kept backing out fast. Well, she forgave me for that. I don't know why, because she shouldn't have jumped up on the hood anyway. So anyway, if you have big bugs or wives on your car, or if you have a couch or you have a refrigerator, you're in Bardville. You're in Bardville. And like I said, I've had mattresses up there. Now, one of the things you have to do with a mattress is tie the front of it down, because the wind gets up underneath of it, and pretty soon the wheels of the front wheels come off the ground, and when you steer, it goes nowhere. It's like a wheelie. So be careful with mattresses. Anyway, I still have health and enable, marrow in the bones, strength in the loins and sinews, power and priesthood be upon me and upon my posterity through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. This bard is gone.